Hey, Tom here, talking to you live from Marina Del Rey. Flew in this morning, had to get up at 2:45, catch 5 a.m. And so I'm sitting in front of a coffee bean. I got my wife and kids inside getting coffee, and I'm going to be out here shortly. So you can see by the topic I put on, this is just an impromptu live. Just had some breakfast walking around here, and I bought a beach house here in the LA area many years ago, and it's funny. I start walking around, and I start thinking about just all the money I made here just recently in real estate, and I have a partner on one of my properties who just passed away. He was 1/3 owner, real good guy, real nice guy, and we were very good friends. And we actually met in the course of me actually trying to talk him out of his property. But it's funny, I've had some pretty successful companies in kind of the wood industry and in the electronics and metals integration, all stuff that I started from the money that I had from real estate deals. Anyways, as good as those businesses have been at times, the one thing that has stayed a constant is I've really never been able to match the amount of money I make as an investor with the money I've made in real estate. And even through the the downturns and everything else, and there are downturns you go through, but like I say, if you buy like me, you'll always survive the downturns, and you can always still manage to make money. You can make money good times or bad times. Bad times are just less competitions, and sometimes there's more opportunities. Whether you've already started buying real estate or not, I'm just telling you right now, you'll be blown away by the amount of money you can make in such a short amount of time. And it's like the first eye-opener I got when I was 19. Sorry. Hey, you kids need to grab one more chair for whoever else is sitting here. Like I said, my introduction was when somebody offered me $20,000 more than I had just paid for a property that I bought when I was 19 years old. And so now here I am 30 plus years later, and just about everything I buy is 2 to 3 times more profitable than that original investment. And $19,000 or $20,000 is still a lot of money, but it can be so much more. Just in the last 3 little house deals, there's over $300,000 there in new equity or profit when I flip them. But anyways, what I'm laughing about is because some of the other ventures I got an app deal that's just throwing money into something new, and that's all going to be good too. But if you're not a believer, just go look at some of the deals I've already done and the money I've made, and I can argue this with anyone. There's just not a better way to make money faster than with real estate. And you just got to you got to get your feet wet. You got to get started somewhere. And I just what I'm thinking about, and what kind of spurred this on is I'm just like, I gotta just go full-time, more full-time real estate than I am. Of course, I always look for deals all the time anyways, but I know I can step it up a notch or two, and anyhow, that's what I intend to do. So I'm gonna do that, and I've got one property. I think I showed you guys that one property. I think it was called, I don't even remember. I don't remember. It was one of those properties that I've got a well-located property that I think it's about time to sell. I'd like to. I've got a lot of equity in it, and I can either roll it into something bigger, or I can just keep just looking around and picking up these smaller deals, and make 70 to 100 grand per deal, and and right now, my preference is buying larger commercial office deals, but those are kind of tough to find right now because the interest rate's so low. The banks pay so little money that people are actually satisfied with buying properties that end up having a cap rate of sometimes as little as 4%, which is ridiculous. I'll never buy anything like that. But for me, I look for about a 15 to 20% cap rate, or at least a 20%, assuming it's 100% full. But anyways, I don't know if anybody got any questions, but if you do, if they pop up on my screen here, I'll go ahead and answer them. Even if you're just looking at lots, if you got lots in your area that are 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, those are perfect to get owner financed. Take a look at those, and you can really go into you can get into a little area like that. I'll tell you what, I had a little area. I don't know. There was probably this like a bunch of hills, all surrounding lake, real pretty area. Average lot price was 10 to 15,000 when I got into the area, and I started just going through it. And I think I bought 60, 70 lots in that area. I basically bought up all the inventory in that area. But I'm not even talking about with a lot of money. I'm talking about like $5,000 down, maybe each lot. That's about $350,000, which I know is not a little. But I mean, I was turning and turning and turning, so it really wasn't that much money coming out of my pocket all at once. But I kept making money with every deal. I was making, anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, and I was carrying notes, so I was creating monthly income. But I was always getting my cash that I put in, maybe plus another $5,000. And like I say, once you start really getting into it and rolling into it, it's like a big cart. Hard to get rolling, but very hard to slow down once you get it rolling. And I'm talking about, not when I say you can't slow it down, I mean interest never sleeps, and you got all these notes out there people are paying you on, and they just keep building and building, and all of a sudden somebody's going to build on that lot that you sold them, and all of a sudden you got a check in the mail for 10 grand, or because they're paying you off, and now you got to sign off on the note so they can get their construction loan. And so, like I say, when I say a big cart that doesn't slow down, you're sitting there with maybe hundreds of thousands or millions in notes, and next thing you know, you've got people are paying you off that you didn't expect to pay you off, and now all of a sudden you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars that you need to reinvest. It's funny. When you kind of get to my level, they consider you what do they call you? A high net value individual. This is bankers talk here. And then you get to a next level of banker. You don't have the same banker that you see sitting in the corner of the bank anymore. You graduate to maybe one that's from kind of downtown, and then when you get to even a higher level, they have numbers that push you into the higher realm of bankers, and better service and more options and opportunities, and waiving every fee you can imagine that you have associated with all of your bank accounts for yourself and your children are now waived. But not just that. It's funny. One of my banks, gave me tickets to see this, whatever, the basketball, pro basketball, or the different events that go around, big football games. And anyways, I took them up one year, and they had beautiful box seats. And so I went. It was neat. You go in, you're like on the 50-yard line, and boxers, people serving you. You've got a bar behind you. You've got all kinds of food sitting there, and so I get and I'm mingling with it holds about 20 people. So I'm talking to the other high net worth individuals and folks in the room, and it's funny. The guy that actually owned those box seats, was a customer of the bank, and the bank would buy the box seats from him and then give them to guys like me and their other customers. So we get to talking, but the old guy I was talking to wasn't even that old, but so we started talking. Hey, so what do you do? What do you do? Well, he told me that's all he did was buy and sell notes. That's all he did. And he says, yeah, he goes, I've got about $40 million in notes now, and started from nothing, and but that's what he does. He's got, think about that, $40 million in notes, and probably anywhere from 5 to 10% interest coming in on those things. So he might have $2 to $4 million a year coming in just on those notes, and zero risk. And really, I mean, when I say risk, I mean nobody's going to trip over your cash and sue you. So that's really cool. And that's all he has is basically notes and cash. And so and we'll get into it. I talked to you about having all the entities. I always have one entity too that doesn't own real estate, but it actually just owns money. Basically it just owns money. And it's be wonderful to do what he's doing, actually. And I always thought eventually that's what I would do. And who knows, I enjoy what I do. But creating notes is fantastic. And like I said, I was pretty impressed. He had 40 million in notes, and his story was pretty cool. But you can just sit there and buy existing notes. And like if you take a note back on a property, and I've done this, I sell a property and I'm taking back a note for $10,000 or $20,000. And then after a year, if they pay on time for the whole year, that's what you call a seasoned note, meaning it's had a whole year, it's qualified. Go get yourself a chair, son. Just go find one. Anyways, but once you got a seasoned note, it's worth more because it's proven that people make their payment on time, and they feel good about it. Oh, they've been paying for a year on time, then yeah, I'll buy that note. And then you can sell that note for face value. If the interest is high enough, you can sell it for even more than the actual value of the note because of the interest rates maybe so good that you negotiated on it. Or you might have a $10,000 note with just a reasonable rate of return, but it's a reliable note. You can sell it at a discount. So maybe you got a note that somebody owes you $10,000, but it was all profit to you. So you just go ahead and sell it at a discount and sell it for 20% off. Sell it for $8,000, and now you got $8,000, and presumably you're going to take that $8,000 and throw it straight into buying another property that's going to make you another $8,000 or $10,000 on top of that. So anyways, I'm going to cut it loose here. My coffee's getting cold, so that's it. And I don't know if anybody's commented, but nothing's popping up on my screen. Again, this streaming live stuff is a little bit new to me, but that's all I wanted to say for now. So anything I do in the next 5 days is probably going to be live like this. So anyhow, like I say, you can't afford not to invest in real estate. You really can't, unless you are just printing money some other way. I don't know, but it's the easiest money I've ever made. It's the easiest money. To me, it allows you to leverage with the least amount of capital, least amount of risk. And so anyhow, just keep plugging away. If you haven't done it yet, you'll make it eventually. And so this is Tom here, Flip Anything USA. And please join my Twitter account. I told you guys I'm making a new app, and I plan on sharing that app out with every subscriber. They won't pay a thing for it. They're going to get it for free, and it's going to be cool. That's the plan anyhow. So that's it for now. Thanks. Flip Anything. Bye.